We moved the blue collar boardroom today. We went a little bit more white collar with my man Ronnie over here. He's an engineer, he's a builder, and he is the best in the world as a luxury, high-end residential engineer. We were just talking about the most expensive house in Naples. 300 million.
It has to be like 300 million.
300 million. And when you're dealing with a billionaire, any tips on how to deal with a billionaire?
They expect things to be done the way they want to be done, when they want to be done, but
get it done right, get it done fast. That works for billionaires. So y'all gotta follow my man Ronnie. He's awesome. We met in the boxing gym. He joined our coaching program. He's an engineer training with a bunch of roofers. What do you think about getting business advice from goofy roofers?
Everybody has something to add. Just because a person is a roofer, you're still a professional. You know, it don't matter if you went to school or not. Life itself is a university.
Amen. We just went through mission statement, core values, market leader positioning. We're gonna get solid meeting structure, and a lot of the stuffs that we went over, they're from a book called Rockefeller Habits. We're gonna read the book together, go through the exercise. Enjoyed it, brother. All right, guys, if you're watching this right now, it doesn't matter if you're white collar, blue collar. Look, we fix big problems for big paychecks. This is Ronnie. Ronnie is my friend from the gym, Sweet Science, and now we're into the sweet science of making money. Ronnie's got an incredible story of growth. He came here and basically you bought into a business.
I did. I started my own business by myself, and it was a 10 by 10 office with no windows. Then I started growing little by little until we were able to put a little bit of capital aside, and then we bought into the business and did a marriage, and we grew from like 4 people to 11 on that transaction.
Ronnie is a multi-million-dollar engineering firm. He's also a remodeling contractor, a general contractor. He's out here working on some of the largest, most expensive pieces of real estate in the United States. You know, designing some of these like $40 and $50 million Port Royal homes. Look, this is not the problem we're solving today. The problem we're solving today is he just told me that whenever he had 10, 13 employees, it was not a big deal, but it's scaling in each different step of the way. You know, getting to 20, 30, 40 people working for your company, you've kind of broke your business a little bit. You've got people that need to perform better. You need to find a way to recruit, hire, train, even whether it's an engineer or somebody that even is an office worker. You want to be able to, you know, elevate the whole team. And it starts with what I call a one-page plan of attack. So in this YouTube, we're going to get a one-page plan of attack for Ronnie. And guys, if you're watching this right now, I highly recommend a book called The Rockefeller Habits. It's the first book in the series of the Scaling Up. The Scaling Up book is the second book, and it's more kind of advanced. So it doesn't matter where you want to start. That's sort of the reading material, and it's honestly the books that we're going to talk about, like honestly, for the next 3 months. So like mission statement, first and foremost, like when you're hiring a kid or the next generation, they care as much about a higher cause or doing good in the world as they do about making money. And so, you know, for you, I've seen other companies, like in my space, they're like, we think there is an epidemic of roofers that rip people off, that do bad work, and we're going to rid the world of bad roofers. That's a cool mission statement for a big company.
That is.
Because it's clear.
That is. Something like that happens with our industry.
What happens?
Engineers. Engineer is a profession of prestige, right?
Yeah.
You're designing a house that's going to have families in their structure, building, whatever it is. And people's lives depend on your design. And from lives, there's also the financial element of it.
Who's writing the check?
Who's writing the check? Not only that, if your structure fails, all right, number one, did people die? No, great. But now there's $300, $400, $3 million worth of structure that went down, right? So there's also the financial element. So it's a professional prestige because the power that you have, like you're saving people's life. You're not a doctor, but if your design fails, you could cause catastrophe.
Let's take this on the YouTube. Every single time I walk into a building in Bal Harbour, Miami, I think about this Surfside collapse.
Yes.
I think about this old building.
Negligence.
I look at, basically I know how condos and building owners work. They don't want to spend the money. And I also know that sometimes there's engineers that just get into a project, all more, because the concrete restoration guy's paying the bill. And so, I'm walking up these old concrete buildings where is this thing going to collapse? And, do you know about that collapse?
Yeah, I actually read a case story 2 years ago, part of my continuing education. And
what do you think happened there?
So I know a little bit about it. Well, you're on the beach.
Uh-huh.
We design a lot of structures by the beach. Salt water corrodes.
Mm-hmm.
If salt water goes into that river, it starts little and it just corrodes. It will eat the whole river, and you'll see there's signs for that, and there were signs documented.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been prevented, but to prevent it, the association needs to be able to come up with some assessments and things like that, and I believe they didn't. I'm not sure how much I should say about it.
But either way, look, it was hundreds of thousands of dollars per unit that needed to be spent. And now across Miami and across state of Florida, there's these assessments going out.
So because of that, governor did what it was supposed to do, and they passed a legislation that all buildings that are close to the beach, when they hit that 25-year mark, they need to be assessed by a professional engineer.
Is this good for your business?
We doing our third.
Okay.
So we already started doing that. I hired a forensics engineer, very experienced, about over 20 years of experience doing forensics, and he's going out there with our junior engineers, and we spend 2-3 days taking pictures of everything. We bring our drone, we scan the whole thing, the roof, everything, and then we put like a 40-page report with everything that we found.
So a good basis for a mission statement to work off of, to make your own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you make this your own, and this is not your mission statement. But my mission statement when I wanted to set the standards for service and growth in my industry. But if you're gonna say, you know what, I want to eliminate the world from a bad engineer, that's an engineer that's for sale, that's an engineer that's too slow, and that's an engineer that does faulty work. And the reality is that we're going to be a better value, a better speed, and we're always going to have trusted work that will stand the test of time. Some sort of.
And we do. And going back to when you talk about your industry, I see in my industry a lot of engineers that they're not taking the time, so they're either over designing or under designing. There are some engineers out there signing and sealing stuff that they don't even review, which our office has strong policies about doing any work like that. And if you're not analyzing all your elements and you just adding rebar, you're costing your contractors money out there.
Yeah.
So we try to look at. If you look at our man hours per job, you'll see that we'll spend 300 hours in a big job.
The mission statement's always going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but just work it out, get it written down, can keep adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be about excellence as a core value, doing things the right ways and non-negotiable. These are the type of things that you can tie into it. But it's this higher purpose of everyone around here to bring up like the whole industry standard and level up everyone around you by offering just a different level of service. Mm-hmm. Hiring and firing based off of core values. What that looks like is like undying commitment to like almost making this place a cult. Mm-hmm. And for me, do you know what the number one important core value is?
Go ahead.
What do you think?
I don't know.
You've been around me a while, but like just make a guess.
Your culture?
Yeah, my culture is personal development.
Okay.
You're a part of that culture. You're a part of our weekly call. That call is for me as much as it is for everyone in that call. You wanted to get better. You saw me in your boxing gym. I'm a roof coach. You didn't care.
Yeah.
You wanted to just get some business advice. And this is what you need. You got to put, like, I heard a core value of excellence. I heard a core value of integrity. Those are sort of like, prerequisites to being a good engineer. Mm-hmm. But for me, like saying, hey, if you don't want to get better tomorrow than you did the day before, if you don't want to keep growing mentally, physically, spiritually, if you're just one of these people that just wants an average result and you just want to show up to work and check the box, this place is probably not for you.
It's not the place for you.
If you have that conversation with the people from the beginning, and then you have the conversation on every meeting, and then when the things come up, you're like, this is in alignment with our personal development as a core value. And so, like, I don't know how the number one core value is for me, for the company, but whatever.
It's a big one.
I've heard excellence, I've heard integrity. I've heard, taking the time to do things right. Like, we're never gonna rush through it, but we're always gonna get you what you need in as fast a time as possible. For me, speed is a core value. I mean, obviously, there's.
We run into that a lot. We need the plans, and every time you rush into it, then there's field issues that are cost-wise.
So we will not compromise quality for speed. That could be a core value.
Yeah.
We'll move as fast as possible, but we will not compromise quality for speed. So that is, to some extent, an explanation of core value. Because you have complained to me about some of these guys that are slow, they're not moving fast, they're just trying to check the box and get the hours and drain the money.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is awkward and weird, but culture being important, you and me being from the gym, me and you knowing that our boxing workout is key to our mental health and fitness, and the idea that like there's companies, which I could do a way better job in my company of group workout and fitness. I know that is hard in a professional services space. Definitely hard in my space as well. But it does kind of be an extension of it. And to be honest with you, what happens is I noticed that a lot of the guys that had purged out of our system, some of these guys were people that did good work, but I had a hard time holding accountable. They worked themselves out the more I drew a hard line on, dude, if you're not working out, like, what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
I call it disciplines and habits.
Yeah.
Good habits and bad habits. They're contagious.
Yeah.
Both of them are contagious.
Right.
When I start drinking a lot, I start eating a lot. I start going a lot less to the gym.
Right.
And it will reflect. Believe it, you'll know it will reflect on your work. It will reflect on your family. Then you start drinking a little bit less, going a little bit more to the gym, going to bed a little bit early, and when you start doing these good habits, they're contagious, and you start doing better at work. You start being more productive. You start being a better leader. I believe habits are contagious.
Now,
good and bad.
You come from a place, and you've built this incredible life in a very expensive place, and having a give back to your element of your business is important. You know, my give back is I'm gonna raise the status for roofers. I'm gonna raise the status for blue collar entrepreneur. I'm gonna create and give back and train people, even if they're my competition, even if they hate me. What's a give back element you feel strongly about?
To my own people or just the industry?
As a company, as an industry, to your own people, to where you come from, like what drives you?
We like to be involved with the community. I mean, there's only so much you can do. You're doing.
But you're here. You're involved with the community. You're sponsoring.
Right. So that's one thing we did last year.
Okay.
It was their first time, so we're going again. We're sponsoring that event. Is in Bonita, and a lot of family people are going to be there. We're beverage sponsors, so part of the beer, there's going to be free beer over there. It comes because we donate it.
Nice.
We donate some money for some cancer associations here, so we're actively with them. We go to their events. We try to help.
But do you create a family environment here at your business?
Yes.
I've heard that from you before.
Yes, we try to get together in the office, outside the office. Last year we had our first annual family event that we're going to start doing every year. After school starts. You know, I just rented like a big place. It was like a farm, and everybody come up with their families, like their moms, their kids.
So
no matter.
we're gonna make a story where you talk about why you do what you do, and you might highlight that that's your favorite day of the year.
It was fun. We got ran out, but I was cooking by myself. You know, I think it's very personal. Everybody that works for you sees you. I'm the one cooking all the meat. The other day was cold for weeks, so you know I made some chili for the whole office, brought it here, and we did
nice.
chili hot dogs. It was engineering week, so we did that. Then the next day we did taco. It feels like
so
nothing.
You have a community here where people can be a part of the family if they earn it.
Yeah.
That they could be a part of. Maybe your goal is to have an engineering firm that pays its people better than all the rest of the people, that gives their people a place to grow.
Yes.
And you know,
We're big on that. I keep telling our staff, like, we started very small. Now there's 24 of us. I need to continue that growth. Like, it's like a part that the more we grow, the more opportunities that I have for everybody.
So I call this stuff the woo-woo stuff, okay? But the woo-woo stuff is the first foundation. I used to think, oh, this woo-woo stuff can't be all that good. Constantly talking about the core values, telling them the mission statement. Now, getting to the granular part, like as an engineer, the part that matters is this organization chart. So we need to map out what everybody does in the company, and I need you to write down if there's 20 people, their roles, and this is your homework, because doesn't have all that I'm asking for each person. Okay, this is what our goal is. Give me a sentence of what's not tolerated. Like, what is like the non-negotiable? You're fired if this happens. This is what you cannot do type shit. And then give me an expectation list. Like, what is your expectation? Now, a lot of times we end up writing new job descriptions for people a lot, right? But this is the boundaries for leaders. You haven't given each person proper boundaries. Sometimes you haven't told them what's not tolerated. Sometimes you haven't told them clearly what's expected.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
But what we want as a numbers, as a mathematics guy, one number to measure their productivity, one KPI. So each job position, each trade, each person. So it looks like this. This is just an example. Let's take your top 5 people. All right. Who's like your integrator that helps you get like your COO, your operations number 2?
Call that Stephanie.
Okay. And what is Stephanie, like if we were to say, what does Stephanie do? What's expected of her?
So I honestly sent almost everything
See, this
to
is
her.
what happens.
It's not written down.
You write everything that she does, and you realize that there's other people that are doing some of the same things
that she's doing.
And this happens across 20 fucking people. And this exercise is a simple ass exercise that doesn't require a computer. But in the end, you start fucking going through it and realizing, okay, she does a shitload of everything. And basically, it's great when someone can handle all those things. Don't, always just take stuff away. But it's get clearer on the ones that are not performing to say, this is what you're responsible for.
I need to do a lot better than that.
And sometimes the ones that are hard to manage are the ones that are good at their job. Because the ones that work hard, that are good at their job, but they're bad at certain things, they're even harder to give them corrections. So to save everybody a lot of time, it's basically like, okay, what's expected, what's not tolerated, what do they do? Match, look at each lane and say, where is there overlap? If there's overlap, can this person handle it by herself? Stephanie does too much. You want her on higher end tasks, so you're immediately taking grunt work tasks that other people fit into. And obviously, like, we get this chart, we build it out. There's org chart, like, examples that you can get on the internet and just type it in. It's a cool little thing. You ever done one before?
No.
All right.
Yes, but
not like that.
Not what we want.
You've made a list of all your employees, said what they do, and checked.
I need to do that.
That's a simple thing. It's and somebody else taught me how to do this. Fucking Scientologist. But it doesn't matter where you get the fucking information from, bro. Like, this shit works, okay? So what we want to do is we want to get a goal for each person and a goal for each department. So you've got John from civil engineering that's responsible for business development, and he's measured by how many new contractors and proposals that are submitted, and that's the KPI that John is measured by. But then you've got Larry that's in civil engineering that's doing the fulfillment, and he's writing the reports, and this is how many pages per hour he needs to get done, and this is how fast. I would grade Larry on how long it takes him on average to do a project. I don't know if each project's different how to grade them, but if you have something that's pretty similar.
We have it does changes, but we have a way.
But if if you have median ways for how long something's supposed to take for each fucking thing, the reality is like, I got this from somebody that was a real big takeaway recently. You should have a checklist for every job. This should help you create a checklist. So Stephanie gets a checklist when you say, okay, this is what Stephanie's responsibilities are. Now maybe Stephanie doesn't need a checklist. Maybe Stephanie needs to be the one who makes a checklist for everyone else and makes everyone else
some of our folks need a checklist.
They need a fucking checklist, bro. And it's like, do I have to repeat myself to my children? Do I have to say this 5 times to my children? Why do I have to say this to my people? Why do I have to do this? Would someone have to tell you that many times? Well,
struggled a lot with that, but I come to accept that just be different people. You can't just.
Not everybody's meant to be the boss.
No. Correct.
Not everybody's
so you have to.
If they were as good as you, they'd be sitting in your seat.
Correct. There's a place in the world for everybody. In our industry, you know, me as a principal, the engineer, the administration person, the technicians, they all different people, and you have to be able as a leader to tell them or guide them.
Now I'm gonna hit you with the hard questions.
Go ahead.
This one's fucking hard. Okay, this is the foundation of everything for me. Okay, what we're looking for is like your purpose in this business, the thing that is what this business is all about, what you love. It's a combination of your purpose, your passion, and what makes you the most money. Because if it's a combination of your person and your passion that makes you the most money, then that's what you love doing. You want to do more of it. So what are you most passionate about in this business?
Growth.
Okay, growth. All kinds of growth.
As a business owner, and I don't want that growth just me. Like
you like growth because new departments means new people can get opportunities. And
Correct. What we have is just a platform. You know, you got highly talented individuals, engineers, CAD people. They could just go and do their stuff by themselves. It's not that easy as it sounds, but they could. But when you come in and you provide this platform, you know, where you're bringing work in for them, or your platform is bringing work in, job stability, benefits, their families are taken care of.
You like building this?
Yes.
So it's building growth.
And growth for our people. Like, I want to see our people successful. If a guy started at $60,000 a year, and a few years, I want them to, you know, there's opportunities. There's new positions that are going to be open. There is financial opportunities. There is, you know, investment opportunities. It's just growth for everybody. And of course, we want to grow too. I want to be a billionaire.
Okay.
You know, so we're
on the right track.
In order for me to do that, with our team, everybody needs to grow up, you know, at the same time. So growth is a big one.
Okay. I want you to see if you could tighten that down into a little bit more specific, but we'll leave it right there. Now, this is a hard question. What can you be the best in the world at here in this business? This is fucking tough.
That is tough.
It's fucking tough. It's like, what do you mean, motherfucker? What can I be the best in the world at? Like, because there's a lot of people out there.
That's tough.
You came here and you bought this business. No one thought you would be here, right?
Yep.
And, you know, you're one of the guys that You didn't come from the school that a lot of these kids that grow up around here to go be an engineer go to, huh?
Yeah.
So it's like, be the best in the world at what's the thing you specialize in? What's the one thing you specialize in here that makes you the most money that you're the best at? What's the
structural engineering?
Structural.
So the company I bought, been designing waterfront homes for 36 years before I bought it, or about 36 years. And that company designed all the biggest homes in Naples. Our, not competition, I don't think we have competition, there's a lot of work. The other engineers that do the same type of work in Naples, they worked for that company before. So there's like 3 of them, they came from our company. And so pretty much very established company doing all the work in Port Royal by the beach. And that's our number 1 source of revenue, big homes. 10 million, 30 million, 50 million, $200 million homes.
That is a great thing to be the best in the world at, because if you're the best structural engineer on the most expensive residential real estate in America, then structurally you should be able to handle anything, right?
Yes.
So if you wanted to be the best in the world at high-end luxury,
I like that.
Huh?
I like that.
All right, there you go. Best in the world at luxury, residential, structural engineering. And by the best, what makes you the best, bro? Like, why are you the best? Why do these builders prefer you? Why? What?
It has to start with the engineering
price,
itself. At speed, we're not good, which we're trying to be better.
Okay. So it's not the speed.
Definitely not the speed. Quality, yes, I want my team to be better. I want us to have better techniques, better design, better ways to design. We could cost a contractor hundreds of thousands of dollars
So really, it's the fact that you think about the problems before they happen better than anyone else and prevent unexpected expense.
Correct.
When you're dealing with
and solid structures, these homes.
All the time I watch these engineers build these dead valleys. You know what a dead valley is? Where the big slope, just goes right into the roof, and there's usually sometimes 3 different roof slopes, and it always seems to have a roof leak right there.
Yes.
So no more the complicated house, the more the chance you're gonna have some dumb shit like that.
That's not on the engineers per se. It's
the architect's fault.
But it's the architect that comes up with all the roof pitch. But try to stay away from that. Make sure we're not liable for any leaks.
Okay, yeah, the roof is a liability issue for sure.
But yes, working with those big homes, we want to be the best in our engineering. Big reason why our contractors come back to us is in construction, you know this, anything can happen out there, and then you're expected, you need it. So our team does a very good job of working with the contractors when they are under construction.
Okay, so there you go, brother. You're contractor engineers.
That's
what you are, brother. Yeah. You're a contractor.
Yeah.
You're not just an engineer.
And I tell this to my guys all the time. Engineers, we're a little bit strange. You know, they don't like to be talking on the phone all that.
They don't want to get their hands dirty usually.
Maybe we can get too long to answer the phone calls or reply to an email. So I'm constantly talking to our senior staff and our junior staff, the email's right there. It's not gonna go away. Don't wait for a client to email you 2-3 times. Hurry up, especially when there is a issue in the field. If the client needs a detail and they have a pour on Monday, if they have to delay that concrete and we don't show up for whatever they need and they have to delay that concrete, it could be a week or 2 or 3 weeks for them to get the concrete spot back. Or if they have framers on site, it could be like a 12 people crew there. Well, we don't show up, you're costing them money.
We want to unpack that because that is your unique value. That's what you bring different than anyone else, and we're gonna bring that out in our marketing. We're gonna bring that out in our communication. It's gonna be everywhere.
Right.
What drives your economic engine? What makes you the most money? Is it contractors? Is it developers? Is it architects? Is it the people that are the buyers of these residential
No, definitely
homes?
not the buyers. The buyers normally deal.
Who drives the money?
The architect
The
normally
architect.
sends us
The architect?
The architect.
The architect drives your engineer.
However,
However,
a lot of the time,
the contractor does it
the
directly.
contractor asks the architect to make sure that we are on the job.
Well, the architect works for the contractor, right?
For the owner, but sometimes they do work for the contractor.
So, in essence, it's the architect or the contractor.
Correct.
Or contractor. So this is,
Homeowner is very minimal, but we do interact with them sometimes.
so this drives your economic engine.
Yes.
This is what you're going to be the best in the world at, and you're most passionate about growth. So basically, everything that we do is business to business. Whenever I teach training, a lot of times I'm thinking business to consumer. But business to business is sometimes easier because architects and contractors are like, there's going to be architects and contractors here at real estate events, all these different things. Of course, finding where these people are, advertising these people, direct mailing these people, calling these people. If I'm passionate about growth, who do you have attacking these people developing business? Nobody? Okay. This is where we have some contradictions. Because if we have, and the reason why we
I'm not
don't,
saying it's right.
no, but the reason why you don't is because you don't have enough talent to keep up.
Correct.
It doesn't have
Correct.
to. It has
Correct.
nothing to do with the fact that you don't want it or you can't do it. It has to do with basically, in order for you to do that, you have to recruit better. You have to have people coming up through the machine
100%.
better.
Yes.
So in the end, it does come down to getting our own recruiting, getting our own brand, building our own funnel for civil engineers, structural engineers, helpers. What are we looking for?
Engineers, licensed and unlicensed. We hire recent graduate, but in order to do that, I need to have.
How do you get an unlicensed?
When you, as an engineer,
You were unlicensed.
Correct.
You turned out to be a pretty good engineer.
Correct. When you graduate,
Yeah.
all you get is your engineering training exam, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you're supposed to have at least 4 years of experience and a few other things before you're able to apply
This is where we should
for
be
your engineering license.
This is where we could basically create a course or content, or we can focus on this. You know, I know a guy. He makes $300,000 a month, and all he does is sell a course to nurses that can't pass the test.
Okay.
So everybody that goes to college to be a nurse that then has to pass the test, what he does is he sells training for them to just get every bit of information they need to pass the test. And there's enough people in that niche that he makes $300,000 a month selling coaching. So there's enough engineers coming out of college. Brother, we live in the coolest place in America. I've lived everywhere. I've chased the storm. I could live anywhere. I live here because it's paradise.
I love it.
Okay, I don't care if it's expensive. All right, we pay more. You're willing to pay more. If you could give that money you're giving a recruiter to the people to
True.
help, maybe half of the money that you give to a recruiter, $25,000, is $10,000. Is that enough for someone to come get first and last month's rent and deposit and come get a move in and sort of a startup? You see what I'm saying?
I like that.
Well, I mean, I don't like it. I like it to come for free.
Well, but
I mean,
like I said, you spend that hiring somebody,
right.
might as well use half of that on incentive
Okay.
and bypass that recruiter.
All
But
right.
need to be able to have the exposure to get the recruit person.
Guys, if you're watching this right now, it just goes to show these basic principles. They apply to all businesses, and we did the hedgehog concept. We're going to sharpen this out, work on his organizational chart, but the biggest thing that over the next 30 minutes that we're going to knock out is a plan for him to have. You need at least once a week meetings. Okay, it's hard because you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
That forces you to come up with the content. To be honest with you, my coach, you know what he told me?
Right.
He said 15 minutes a day, your job is to get all of the leaders of your company. That means Stephanie, who's in charge of structural, who's in charge of civil, maybe that's only 4 people in the company, and to meet with them 15 minutes a day and have them report, because basically they're responsible for everyone underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea or concept is actually at the beginning of the day.
An everyday thing?
Every day. Now, I resisted that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was twice a week. But I'll be honest with you, right now, currently, I have a lot of things that I'm fixing in my production department and operations, and we're doing daily meetings in production. When sales has a problem and we're not doing what we needed to be doing, then it turns to daily meetings in sales. It's twice a week manager meetings,
mm-hmm.
and it's basically once a quarter we get off-site. And then this is the other book.
I heard you say that.
This is important.
I have it written down somewhere because I do like that.
You can go to the Haight house. Mm-hmm. You don't have to go far.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
We did it once last year, I believe. We went for a breakfast.
Yeah. It needs to be 2 days.
Okay.
Not a breakfast.
All right.
It needs to be everyone turns their phone off. Everybody from 9 to 5 dials in for 2 days with an agenda and a plan. And if you want to know how to run the plan and the playbook, there's a book called The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team.
Okay.
Now, we've got too many books going on here. We'll do this.
Read them one by one. I wrote the first one.
We'll do the scaling up and Rockefeller habits first, and then we'll get to the quarterly meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Because the goal is you do all this work, right? And then you roll it out to them with a 2-day where you're spending all this time pouring your vision, fixing their problems, going through conflict deck. Conflict deck is when 2 people have something that needs to be said, like what you need to say to that person that's underperforming. And it boils up, and essentially it comes out in not productive ways. And so what we got to do is we got to get everybody in the room. We got to say these are our core values. This is our mission. This is where we're going. This is our quarterly goals. This is our 3-year goals. This is our 5-year goals. And 5-year goals are a long way out. 3 years is long time too. But once we get it dialed into this is what we're trying to do by quarter. That means how many structural quotes, how many are we finishing, how many, like you don't have anyone working business development. You have all the business you need.
Correct.
That's a fucking great problem to have, bro.
Correct.
You don't even have to fucking hustle to get the damn business. It's beautiful, okay? But what we gotta do is, once we get done with this, I'm gonna shoot this interview, this content, but it's like, okay, owner's story. Everybody comes together for a lunch like last time, create testimonial content and get culture. And then basically create content for the people that are just coming out of college, create content for engineers, and you could feature common problems. You could feature something that basically you're fixing from another engineer without mentioning them. Do you ever do that? Or usually, are you re-engineering it after something's built or before it's built?
We've done some of that. There's rules, so we have to be very careful. If a client comes in,
of course you don't disclose who they are, but you can explain the situation.
Yes. There has been issues.
If you've done that before, let's say there was a $40 million house and there was a huge change because something was designed wrong, and you basically explained it in 60 seconds how you fixed the problem, and if you fixing the problem got you basically that architect to give you the rest of the work forever, then an engineer might learn how to fix the problem, but they also might think, well, Ronnie's got a lot of clients. Yes. And by the way, we're looking to connect with engineers. We'd love to. So I think creating a Facebook group where you got engineers, where engineers are sharing, like your mission was, I put this on you, to set the standards for service and growth in engineers and get rid of all bad engineers and raise the status for engineering across the world. So if you have a group and the content is based on that mission, then you're going to attract new engineers coming out of college. You're going to attract engineers. You can have content that's free, a YouTube channel. Brother, I don't give a fuck if there's 47 views on it. If it's 3 views from an up and budding engineer that's 4 years at a college and can't find a job and they're in Tampa, Florida, well then that 1 view is worth
the effort.
It's worth the effort. And so you can't think about it like, man, I need this big following. No. You need to think about it like this. Insanity is repeating the same thing, expecting different results. You got to start laying the groundwork now so that basically it recruits in your sleep. It's constantly working for you. It's constantly, like if you just think about all the content that people are watching of me and how often people just decide, man, it'd be cool to work with that guy, and how naturally it becomes a DM or a conversation or them coming into my company. And it was 8 years of documenting my life, sharing my wins, sharing my losses, being transparent, letting people in, sort of like the Truman Show of a bubble where they're showing my family, my content, like even, me and you boxers, I fucking lost in front of everybody, but you know what? That's part of it's part of what people want to see. They want to see whatever is happening. So I don't know if y'all are watching this right now. It's important that you get this stuff dialed in. We're going to go ahead and get his recruiting funnel. Look, I thought core values were stupid. I thought mission statement, all this like silly stuff was like Tony Robbins, like sort of like feel good stuff. But dude, it's the way you get the people to work in a team. And it's the way corporate America excels. And then the way you get it all down to numbers, this is when it gets fun. Okay. When you have basically every KPI for every position, and you have a dashboard where you can, like sort of the thing that I was showing today on the call, where instead of us just like writing down jobs here, we've got so many numbers to look at that it's literally like, you're flying a 747, you can adjust this because you see on the gauges that you need to make changes, and that's where it really gets fun. But basically, this is the first step, and all businesses have to do this. And coolest thing about it is like Ronnie's gonna have a remodeling restoration. He's getting trained up in case there ever is a hurricane. You're getting trained up on this whole little industry. But
yes, sir.
More importantly, we're gonna collaborate and work together on some forensic engineering. In my industry, a lot of arguments happen with insurance companies, and so me and Ronnie are partnered up, and what we're doing is, of course, his engineering company is going to be documenting the damages and helping us. A lot of times insurance companies send their own engineers, and those engineers are paid to deny the claim. So we're gonna do some good work together and help a lot of good people out. It just kind of shows that you don't have to be a roofing contractor to get value out of our coaching program. And even if you're like not specifically in roofing, I like to figure out how I can customize the solution, which is what we're about to do. So till next time, we're out.
Hey, thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Look, subscribe, get notifications, because we're coming every week with door-to-door videos, interviewing successful blue-collar millionaires, finding out exactly what they did, going from living paycheck to making that golden paycheck, baby. There's a gold rush in roofing, and we're showing what it's like, scaling our company to $1 billion, creating 100 multimillionaires along the way. Now, a lot of times we do silly things like roofer versus adjuster videos, door-to-door blitz videos where we get thrown off the front porch, but we do it for your viewing pleasure and to raise the status for the blue-collar entrepreneur. So look, subscribe, tell your friends. That's the cost of admission. I want to help you sell your first million, scale to 10 million, and then maybe be a part of our $1 billion plan. Look, subscribe, get notifications so you don't miss anything that happens right here on this epic roofing and contracting growth channel.